I will never forget my first day as a high school wrestling coach, right? There were about 35 students in the gym, all lined up, and each one eager to introduce themselves with their name and a reason for why they wanted to wrestle. First boy says, I want to wrestle to get strong. Another says, I want to wrestle to lose weight. Another one says, I want to wrestle to learn self-defense. And down the line they went. Then the last voice says, hi, my name is Sam. And at that moment, I knew my life would never be the same. See, what has been the same is the sport of wrestling. It goes back over 15,000 years. There are cave paintings of wrestling. The ancient Greeks wrestled, the ancient Romans wrestled, the Incas of Peru, Aztecs of Mexico. Wrestling's been around as long as we have. And back in those days, wrestling was really, it determined your status in society, right? So if you won matches, you became rulers of villages and tribes. Your social and political ranking were determined on those matches. And if you lost, you were sometimes executed. You can say that wrestling was a matter of life and death. Today, for some young people, wrestling is still a matter of life and death. See, that day in the gym, when Sam boldly proclaimed, I want to wrestle to prove that girls can do anything boys can do, right? The room fell silent for about 2 seconds as we got over the shock of what we just heard. And then I said, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Let's go. And my wrestlers will tell you I do get amped like that, so bear with me. But I was excited. I mean, how could I not be? At that moment, we were witnessing history, a courageous act that would really impact the rest of our lives, right? The boys and the coaches, because we had never experienced girl power like that, right? And Samantha was dead serious about being a wrestler. This wasn't a novelty act. And from that moment on, she was on the boys' wrestling team. At first, some boys didn't want to wrestle with Sam. They thought they would hurt her. I was a little, I felt awkward. I don't know what positions I could do with Sam. And even some parents expressed concern over their sons wrestling with a daughter, or wrestling with a girl. But Sam proved to be the real deal, right? She ended up wrestling the toughest during the practices. She actually ended up hurting one of her boys. There was one match where a boy who had heard about Sam decided not to wrestle because he was too afraid of losing. So Sam actually had to wrestle a heavier boy, right? And so she was respected by her teammates. They actually gave her the Hustle Award. It's that award given to the wrestler who shows the most heart, determination, and toughness throughout the season. And even though Sam was tough as nails, the boys still looked for her, or looked towards her for advice on girls. Right? There's Sam right there. And now the beauty and the power of Sam's story is that it's been happening with other girls around New York City, right? Those girls and the ones that came before them really kicked down doors so that young girls will have the opportunity to discover their unknown. And so a great organization called Beat the Streets actually started the first girls wrestling league in New York. And that's how I became a girls wrestling coach. And now, as a coach, I got a front row seat into the lives of these girls, right? Through this experience, I was actually, as a man, actually able to learn about some of the struggles that these girls go through. Now, these girls are like you in many ways. They're around the same age. They have the same interests in music, pop culture. Some of them have the same, probably, struggles as you, right? One girl in particular has some self-esteem issues, some body image issues. So she joined the wrestling team to get fit and to build some confidence. After about a year, she's lost over 45 pounds and really has become a leader in and out of school. Right? But one thing that does separate, makes these girls different than you, is where they go to school in the South Bronx, and some of the struggles that they have. Now, in Latin American culture, which is prominent in the South Bronx, struggle unites people, right? Struggle is la lucha, and those who are in la lucha are called luchadores. Also, in Latin American tradition, luchadores are wrestlers. So the girls on our team were luchadoras because they're united in the struggle and because they're wrestling. Right? One of our luchadoras, her struggle, she separated from her mom for 7 years. Her mom came to the United States to try and build a better life. And when she came over as well, they ended up living in a shelter. Right? Two of our luchadoras' sisters were uprooted from their community or from their home down south and brought to live in the Bronx about 1.5 years ago because their mom suddenly passed away of cancer. Right? And I could go on with some more of these struggles. Right? These girls go to school where there's a baby daycare center because 1 out of every 10 teenage girls in that community has a baby. Right? So these things made me mad, right? And they also made me sad. And I started to feel sorry, but don't you dare feel sorry for these girls, right? Because if you do, don't show any pity. They will wrestle you, they will challenge you, wrestle you and kick your butt. So don't feel sorry for them. And they'll tell you as much, right? I've asked them, why do you wrestle? Why are you doing this? I said, wrestling is life. Right? So for some of these girls, it is a matter of life and death. Right? And these girls inspire. They inspire girls, they inspire boys, they inspire grown men like me and Coach Lee to start a foundation, Lucha Vida, Wrestle Life. Right? And what we're trying to do is basically bring wrestling to those high at-risk youth in the South Bronx, give them a way to escape their reality for a little bit and also learn some skills that will help them with those struggles. Right? Good position, keep your head up, believe in yourself. And I told the girls that I was going to come here and talk to you. And I asked them if they had a message. And of course, they were like, yes, 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 tell them this, tell them that. But one message in particular resonated, and it's fitting. It came from Sam. And so this is her message. She said, she didn't let fear of the unknown stop her from walking into the gym that day. And so she discovered her inner luchadora. Right? So she wants you to not let anyone or anything stop you from discovering your inner luchadora. She says, go on and wrestle life. Lucha Vida.